when I start giving the money out to people, I felt really good about it. I felt really happy. I'm helping people who are in real need, like touching my heart deeply.
Do they just secretly sit like far away and just like record? How do you keep it low key? Do they ever spot the camera?
They would never realize that someone was sitting there and filming, because it's in a box, and we just cut a hole in there and off you go. I got my 100 million video views. Did I get $1 million from it? No way. The range would be anywhere from like $2,000 to $7,000 per video. Monetization on Facebook for 1 million views, you could potentially get maybe 2 grand or something USD. Amazing. Whew. Bit tired after work.
Were you filming today or what happened today?
No, I run my own coffee shop now, a sandwich shop in the city.
You run your own what?
Uh, Sandwich and a coffee shop.
Coffee shop. Oh, that's so cool.
Not as cool as I expected when I started in the first place, but it's all right, I guess. Learning the craft and trying to grow.
How long have you ran the coffee shop?
1.5 years now.
Oh wow, so that means you've been doing all the content and filming alongside it. You've been doing a lot. Wow.
Yeah, that's been a bit of a pressure, to be honest. I had full-time job as well at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been crazy, man.
Huh. What have you
But it's
like
all right. We'll learn. That's why I quit my full-time job in July last year, and it's basically the coffee shop now and content.
that's amazing.
But yeah, it's probably everyone's telling me that I'm not uploading as much, but I'm trying still to keep it up and basically see whether I can continue that going forward. But that's the main goal at the end, to continue filming, but I guess in another niche going forward. So yeah, for now it's just basically trying to combine these two things, coffee shop and content.
That's awesome. What were you working prior?
I used to be in my full-time job. I was a charter consultant, so I dealt with different owners, corporations, body corporates, and basically facilitated the process of changing management companies from one company to another through a tender process. And I worked with different committees and chair people of different owners corporations, like whatever strata title buildings there are. And yeah, basically did that for 5 years as a strata consultant, and got promoted to senior strata consultant, and almost got promoted to national manager before I quit. So because it was just too much strain and pressure and stress, which was quite unbearable, to be honest, at the end. So yeah, I decided to call it a quit and concentrate on the coffee shop and content.
Were you doing the content while like near the end of that corporate journey? Did you already have
Yeah.
content and were you already gone viral?
Yeah.
That's so cool. What was the catalyst? Like what got you into content in the first place?
I think, during my uni years in Melbourne, in RMIT, I've been always watching different YouTubers, up and coming YouTubers back then. I don't know if you know, like all the pranksters and stuff, and I always had a willingness to do it myself, just to go out there and start filming and produce something of my own. And I've never had time to do it, or never had like the ability to do it, because I was working like, you know, at least 3 jobs at a time during uni days, and just never had the resources to actually commit to making videos. And then when I started this consulting job after I quit my accounting job, because I'm an accountant by trade, I quit that and I started this strata consulting. And 2 years in, I think it was 2 years in, I started creating content. And I was like, well, prior to that, sorry, we tried to do YouTube with a friend, but it sort of didn't go anywhere because my friend got demotivated and all that type of things, and he didn't want to continue and he lost the interest. but I still had the interest because I had that passion in me to go and do the videos. And at that time, I found out about TikTok and yeah, basically registered on TikTok. Started with zero and yeah, and started just going out there in public and do what I could. And then after a few videos, I started realizing which I was like always testing, trialing and testing what works, what not, and what I feel deeply about. Like, you know, sometimes you need to feel on what you're doing. Otherwise, it just doesn't go anywhere. And then you start ruminating and yeah, doesn't feel like it. That's sort of how I started.
That's so cool. Man, like, what was the catalyst for the coffee store then? Like, what made you wanna, was that after or before the content?
That actually started back when I arrived to Australia 15 years ago. I like seen all these coffee shops. I wasn't a big coffee fan back then, but then when I start drinking coffee in Melbourne, because I never drank coffee before that, so I started drinking like 7-Eleven coffee, and I was like, some of my mates were buying like expensive $5 coffees and stuff. And I was like, why are you buying this? Like, you know, 7-Eleven is pretty good for $1. And then I start changing my mind. I start trying, you know, all the specialty coffees, etc. And then, so since then, I had a dream to open up my own coffee shop in Melbourne. And I've been thinking about it. That's even before the content creation. So I was thinking that a lot, and I told myself that one day I will open a coffee shop. And I think it's just like a dreams come true at the end. So I had the opportunity to open up that shop 1.5 years ago, and I was like, okay, why not? Let's give it a go and see how it goes. And yeah, basically that's how I came up with the idea.
Yeah, I remember I did this run club in Sydney, in the city, North Sydney, nearby the sort of Harbour Bridge. It was like a 5 a.m. run club, hundreds of people. And afterwards, everyone would stop by this coffee store, this coffee shop. And for that hour, they had probably maybe like 100 customers just come through, long line, people come in one after another. They're processing probably one customer every like 2 minutes, every 1 to 2 minutes. So I was like doing the numbers, like even like in 1 hour, let's say they process like 40 customers times that by like 5 to 10, even let's say $10 per customer, like that's only $400. And that's the peak. That's like on a Friday morning after run club. And that's like the best of the best. And I was like it's crazy how there's a cap to it. You can't like there's a cap to how many coffees you can sell an hour, and it looked like a very hard business because like rent is probably really expensive at that shop near Sydney.
Yeah, exactly. It is a hard business to run, no doubt. I think I just pushed through it because that was the dream one day to open up a coffee shop, you know. Even though I quit my full-time job to concentrate on content creation, not on a coffee shop, but you can't really concentrate on content creation when your time is needed at the coffee shop, and you know, due to like resource like labor and resources, etc. So now I'm sort of stuck a little bit, but I think I accepted it and just thought once I put the coffee shop on track, hopefully soon, then I'll continue my content creation journey. But everyone learns from mistakes they make. I mean, I don't think the coffee shop is a mistake. I think I wouldn't be where I am now in terms of like skills and understanding of all this life errors and stuff like that. And I think it sort of led me to this state where I start understanding what's important, what's not, what to focus on, and whether focusing on one thing is more important than focusing on three different things. And hence, you know, that's where it sort of led me to throughout the years. Because since I came to Australia, I always had at least three jobs, always. And now I still have three jobs before I quit that full-time job. And I thought like it was just too much pressure for 15 years, you know. You know, you've been working, studying all along and putting all this pressure on yourself, and sometimes that pressure can burst you out, and that's what it did, I guess. Mentally, that's why I decided to quit my full-time job and just take it easy a bit, because like it just doesn't worth it at the end, you know. So hence I'm still having three things going on, but they're more like distant, so it's more like automated, some of the things, except the content and the coffee shop. But yeah, that's the little story behind that. Well, not a little story, but like a short story behind all of these things that has happened to myself.
What's the third thing that you currently work on?
It's just like that's like can't be disclosed. Nothing illegal. It's just that I don't want it to be there in the air. Yeah.
Makes sense. Tell me, like,
Maybe one day I'll reveal that, but it's just thing that I've been working on. Just building a few things in the background just to have I guess, better retirement at the end, or hopefully if you live till those years.
tell me about your content. Like, I really loved your content, like the whole giveaway, the whole paying for people's thing at checkout. Like, was that always the content from the beginning? Like, tell me about your whole journey to figuring out the type of content that you wanted to do, Rus.
Well, it all started with pranks with YouTube, which never went anywhere. But in terms of like giveaways, I think it all sort of started from the beginning when I started giving out the money to people, because I worked in this strata consulting job and I was getting quite a lot of money there, as in like comparing to my previous jobs when I worked, as a dishwasher or whatever, or washing dishes, or like a waiter and accountant even. This job like was quite a well-paid job, and I had spare money, so I decided to relate the content to money. And when I started giving the money out to people, I felt really good about it. I felt really happy, and and then I just continued because I felt really happy giving out money, paying for people's groceries, making all those social experiments, and seeing what the people's reactions are, and then seeing the reactions of people who are watching the videos, which, I mean, there is a degree of hate, even when you do good things, but, I learned how to ignore that throughout this content creation journey. But I think 80%, probably even 90% of my audience are pretty happy with the content. They always say that it makes them smile, makes them do good, and it makes them do similar things, go out and help out people. So in terms of inspiration, I think that what sort of drove me for the past few years. And and at the end of the day, I feel happy doing that. So that's why I ignore all the noise and just continue to do what I do. And people like it. And, I mean, majority of people love what I do. So I was like, why not?
How'd you come up with your social handle, Rus.Alien?
That took me quite a while to come up with, but I think the main idea behind that is that I'm sort of a stranger in here, and alien sort of rhymes with Australian. I was like, okay, why not? Rus.Alien, Australian. Because I wasn't born here. I came here as a foreigner and became an Australian at the end. And I'm Australian now. And I was like, why not relate something to that? And Rus, because my full name is Rustam, but it's very foreign to people, to local people here. And hence why I shortened it to Rus and then added Alien to make it a bit more, for it to stand out a little bit more, and to sort of, for people to easier to remember, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Now that everyone's sort of fasting and going through Ramadan, is there like any content you can do around that? Is that any ideas, or do you not, all your content quite evergreen and they're not really related to what's currently happening?
I mean, there is There is one video that I uploaded recently. So it's Ramadan part one. I don't know if you've seen that. It's basically just the same thing, paying for people's groceries and seeing what their reaction is. I have few videos that I'm currently editing because I edit my videos myself still. And yeah, I think those would be related to Ramadan because I try to do videos during Ramadan every year, which are related to Ramadan because I feel like this is a time when I can inspire people the most. And I feel happy, paying for people and giving out money to people. I don't know, even though I'm not in a full-time job anymore, but I still feel that I can afford it, and hence why I'm doing it. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Who films your content? Like, how do you get the audio so clear? You know, when you pay and you walk away and you can still hear the person's voice. Like, do you leave a mic behind? How's the audio so clear once you walk away?
Yeah, it's basically just traditional way, I guess. Use the iPhone, I put it in my pocket, and it's sort of recording. And in terms of when I leave, yeah, sometimes I'll leave the mic just around that counter there, and pick it up later, and then just sing the audio afterwards. Yeah, it's quite a bit of work involved, as you might understand, but I think it's worth it at the end of the day because I think people or the audience or the viewers, they want to hear what they have to say at the end, which doesn't happen always because sometimes I forget to leave the mic there, and the actual camera that it's filming sometimes helping with that because the iPhone's mic is so good and so clear, it can actually catch the voices even on the distance, which is quite an amazing thing, to be honest. You don't have to buy even though I have good mics at home, which I use for like other content, but yeah, I mean, iPhone's been working quite well, so yeah, still using that till this day.
Is it like, do they just secretly sit like far away and just like record? Like, is it obvious or like, how do you keep it low key? Do they ever spot the camera?
No one spotted the camera as of yet except one time. But usually we would let people know afterwards once like all their reaction is captured. We'd let them know that there's someone there, but they would never realize that someone was sitting there and filming because it's in a box basically, and we just cut a hole in there and off you go.
Is it like a cardboard box? How big is the box?
It's quite small, like as long as it fits the iPhone, because we film on iPhone, right? Because if you film on a camera, it's so much headache. You have to transfer the videos, you have to do this and that, you have to feed it in the box, you have to hold the heavy thing. So yeah, just put the iPhone in a small box. I don't know, like, I don't even know if I have an example here, but yeah, just the size of the iPhone, and then put a small hole in there so that the camera comes out of it and the picture is good. And yeah, basically we do it that way, and then always film on two so that you can stand a bit on a distance so that people can't really, even though some people watch the guy who's filming there, but they wouldn't have a clue what he's doing there because he's just staying with the box and, breathing there. So yeah, that's the idea behind that.
And then how does a person frame and make sure the camera's pointing in the right direction and the person's in frame?
Oh, that's a whole different craft there that one have to master. It's not that easy. And when I have a new camera guy or new person filming me, I mean, I have to debrief them quite in detail because not always it's a good take. And sometimes it's shaky. Sometimes that box, the little piece of the box goes into camera and then it becomes a bit foggy in terms of the actual picture. And yeah, I have to basically debrief them on all those points before we actually start filming. And then once they filmed one, I would go and review the video and see, okay, here you didn't do right. You have to go into this angle. You have to make sure that the camera is not facing the sun so that people's faces are more clear in that way. Because if you go against the sun and you can't see anything basically. And then you have to take into consideration that you're in a shopping center, and then there are windows, and then the sun shines through the windows, and then the reflection and all that type of thing. It's quite a few things to consider. It's not just, go ahead and pay for people's groceries. There's a lot of things going on in the background. So yeah, that's sort of the idea behind that, in terms of like how we film and the angle. And yeah, there were so many takes that I never uploaded, just gave it away basically. I don't really have any issue with that, but if it doesn't need to be uploaded, then that's probably the fate of it. Yeah.
Do you say there's two cameras or is it just the one?
Nowadays, only one. Sometimes I do POV and also another guy. A few times there were where two guys were filming, but it's just too much work in that regard. But I think as long as you get the angle right, then you can just do in post. So when you're editing, you can just zoom in, zoom out, do all those tricks. Yeah.
Do you film in vertical or horizontal?
Vertical.
Ah, and then does that mean the guy has to move the box if you walk away and he wants to film you walking away and he needs to somehow guess without...
Yeah, and those camera guys are the smart ones. Not all would know that, like it's a common sense that you would turn the camera a bit this way when the guy is walking away, but not all people have common sense, unfortunately. So those who would turn, they are the smart people, which I really want to work with for years to come. And the last guy, like the most recent video I uploaded, that guy is, quite smart. Like I never told him that he has to like follow the guy. I just told him you just have to keep filming till I say stop. And that's pretty much it. But when I start reviewing the videos, like he's been pretty amazing. He just goes and follows the guy and restarts the video if that person who I paid for approaches me at the end. He would go quickly and start filming again so that he captures that moment, which not everyone would do from my experience. And that was quite surprising.
Where do you go about finding these camera people, these people that can help film? And like, who went with you overseas? Because I saw the cool overseas content as well.
Yeah. Well, back in the days when I was starting, when I met this group of content creators in Melbourne CBD, so we were sort of helping each other. And then after that, people just appeared in my life from nowhere. And I think it's probably visualization or like manifestation, or okay, I need this guy, that guy, this time, that time, and then they just come from somewhere. And that what happened with one guy who's been filming my videos quite a while. And then now there's another guy. In terms of like overseas, I usually like to collaborate with different content creators overseas. Before I go there, I would hit them up and be like, okay, I'll be in Bali or I'll be in Thailand or Vietnam, this and that. And whoever responds, we'll just have a conversation. And yeah, we'll meet there and then do content together, and then they'll help me film. And that's what's been happening so far.
That's
But
awesome.
if I don't have a camera guy, then I'll just film it myself. I don't try to put any constraints on that. So I just put it on POV and just off you go, so that I don't have any excuses not to film,
What's the best way to do POV with iPhone? Do you just put it on your t-shirt pocket, or like do you put like a chest mount?
I used to be chest mount, but it was too revealing, and people were like, "Oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Are you trying to secretly film me or something?" But obviously, we want to get their reaction first before we tell them that, we're gonna use their video to inspire other people. And because I was too in their face, I just bought a T-shirt which had a little pocket here, and I would just put the phone here, and yeah, that's pretty much it. As easy as that. Obviously, it doesn't work all the time, because sometimes when you start filming and you're walking towards that guy, or when you want to film a video, I don't know how, but it sort of stops filming, so it declicks, I guess. And then you already started, you already finished the video, you finished like doing that thing, whatever you do there, and then you realize when you take out the phone, it didn't film. I was like, okay, well, what can you do? It's already in the past. sometimes the angle is not right because you're not like you have to be a bit this way, but it doesn't work that way because the conversation or the act is not going that direction, and you can't really see the face, but you hear the voice. So that's not usable as well. So we just just forget about that and continue and move forward. So yeah, those are intricacies about that angles and POV situation.
When you do the POV, do you do ultra wide or just normal camera?
Usually it's just times one,
Hmm.
but I'm not really a fan of zero point 0.5 to be honest, the ultra wide one, because the quality drops
Hmm.
for some reason. But I do try to use ultra wide because it can capture the whole moment, like even beyond that.
Hmm.
I've been using it a couple of times in the morning only, and where there's a good lighting. If it's not a great lighting, I don't know, it feels like the quality is not that great.
Hmm.
And yeah, I feel like there's not much concentration going on that particular scene. It's like, you have a lot of things going on around there as well in public, and like there's no focus for some reason. That's my take on it.
Makes sense. When you went to like Asia or when you go overseas and you DM creators, do you just use Instagram and just send a DM? And is it because you have like a blue check mark or you have a lot of followers it usually goes through? What's the best way to get through to the person's DMs inbox so they can see it and it doesn't get hidden in like request or something?
Usually if you are verified, I
Mm,
think your messages go on top as a priority.
mm,
And I
mm,
think those content creators, because everyone wants to like collab and, get other content creators audience engagement,
mm,
and probably, potentially convert them into their own followers. So I think they have that incentive. Hence
mm,
why they look at my videos, they look at the engagement, they look at the views, and they'll be like, oh, this guy, it could potentially be beneficial to us. And yeah, that's why probably they reply. But some people we already followed each other for quite a while but never met. But yeah, in terms of like DMing some people I would know prior, and I would just hit them up and be like, okay, I'm in Bali now, let's meet up. And that's what I did like with few guys in Bali. And we've done quite an amazing content, I would say. And yeah, things like that, I think.
cool.
And sometimes people would just DM me when I start posting stories that I'm in that particular country, and people start like DMing me like, "Oh, you're in Vietnam or in Bali, let's catch up." Of course, I can't reply to all of those people, but whoever I think would be able to help me out, I would just say yes, okay, let's do it. Like in Bali, I met maybe 3 or 4 content creators, which was pretty amazing to just have a conversation with them, meet up, collaborate, go out somewhere, and build up friendship going forward. And then whenever I come back, I already know like I've got a few guys there who can help me out, and we could go out and have fun or something like that. Yeah.
When it comes to sort of building your following and having high engagement, is there any way, like, do you reply to all your comments? What's been the way for you to sort of build up the engagement?
Oh, that's a heavy one. In terms of replying comments, I used to reply every comment back in the days, and then when I only had like few thousand followers, I was hitting up. Even that time I was hitting up those big guys like I know you name them. Whoever had like over 100, 200,000 followers, I would hit them up and be like, okay, let's I'm happy to do a collab. I'm happy to come to your place and we can film something, blah blah blah. Not everyone replied, and one guy replied. He had like 4 or 5 million followers on TikTok. I don't know if you know that guy. He's from Sydney, and he did videos with his grandma. I think Chains family or something like that. The Chains family. He had
Mm,
like 4 or 5 million back then, but I had like 100,000 or 200,000 followers. And I would never think that somebody would reply, but I never lost the hope and just kept DMing. And then yeah, and then few of the influencers actually replied to me, and then we eventually ended up doing a collaboration, which was amazing. But that particular guy, I told that particular guy who had 4 or 5 million followers, like, hey man, why are you not replying to every comment that you have on your videos? I was like, isn't that pretty easy? But then I realized after having so many comments in the comment section, like, it's just waste of time. You think at the end of the day, even if you reply, I think you can reply maybe 10 people in the first 10 minutes who comment on your video, but I think after that, yeah, it's just not worth your time. I think uh, it would be more worthy to actually brainstorm ideas and what the next content will be, rather than replying to comments every now and then. And then you start reading all the hate comments, and then you starting get demotivated and stuff like that, and it's just not good for your mental health. Because people, you never satisfy people in this world. To be honest, that's one take from my experience. Because even though I've been doing this for 3.5 years, once somebody actually was so unhappy that they went and talked to a journal, and then the journal put articles about me in 3 different newspapers in England, here in Australia, and some other country, New Zealand, something I can't remember. And yeah, I start getting all this like hate from people. I don't know, from some random people who saw the news and would never even know like what I was up to. And yeah, that was quite a big lesson I learned, that you just shouldn't care about what people say online. They just sit on their couch and just chatting all day long and like commenting and basically not trying to achieve anything in this life. I think as long as you focus on the video and make sure that first of all you love the video, and then you feel like it potentially can go viral, then you keep doing that video basically. You keep doing that thing and keep going that way. And as long as you're staying consistent with that, I think the engagement will be there. Even though some videos might not be viral, as long as you're staying consistent, I think that's the key to everything here. That's where I realized, and that's what the influencers that I was DMing back in the days, they told me that as well. And then they just followed that advice, and yeah, and then I achieved the same results, basically even more towards they have been at that stage. Like I've surpassed them in terms of followers and the views and the engagement, etc. And that's quite, yeah, I felt like that would be a miracle, but it sort of came true at the end of the day because of following the consistency factor, I guess. Yeah, I think consistency is the key here. Doesn't matter where, or whether it's TikTok or Instagram or any other platform. I'm still like trying to conquer YouTube, but I haven't started yet. And I have so many questions which I'm currently trying to understand and learn from other YouTubers, because I want to start creating long form content for YouTube. And basically, yeah, that's my aim in the next 5 years, to build up my YouTube channel. Because what I realized again, even though you get the engagement, you get the followers, and you get some loyal fans and some loyal followers, but they're not gonna go and die for you. That's the main difference between. Sometimes it works differently for some people, but I'm thinking of majority of situations where fans are not loyal. They wouldn't come to your meet and greet, for example. Like you wouldn't have a big crowd. You would have some people would come, but you wouldn't have like a crazy big crowd like KSI would have, or like Logan Paul. You know what I mean? That kind of scale I feel like you can achieve through making those long form YouTube videos, because people get stuck with you for like 10, 15 minutes. They get to know you. They get to know your character, and eventually they want to meet you in real life, and like they love you. And because they've been watching you so long in terms of like the watch hours, I feel like that's the goal for myself personally. And another point to mention here is that I realized that even more clearly when I opened up my coffee shop, because my thinking was that I could be diverting those followers into like physical, like come and buy something customers, but that never worked out. I mean, there are still some people who would come and recognize me and take pictures and stuff, but not like a massive crowd like David Dobrik had in his pizza shop that he opened up, a while ago. Like he had a massive queue there, and that's another sort of lesson I learned. But yeah, so my point here is measure 7 times and cut once, but I haven't done that, which I've learned the hard way. So yeah.
That's a good lesson. And I think you've had to make all the mistakes. And I think someone listening to this, one person might be like, you might have saved that one person a lot of pain and struggles.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I would be happy if I could do that.
How do you go about studying and planning and preparing for YouTube long form content? Where do you start? Like, have you just been watching Mr. Beast's podcast interviews? Do you have a plan on your first video? Is the first video gonna be like a big important thing? Like, how do you do that? Yeah, like how do you start? I guess, yeah.
That's a good question. I'm still trying to understand that as well myself. I feel like the first video will be just a story about my life, and obviously, I can potentially convert the viewers through like Instagram or maybe TikTok. But I don't really mind because watching like YouTube videos from Mr. Beast or like his podcast and all the other YouTubers and their advice, it's just the matter of starting. I think I'll have to just start. And the great advice that Mr. Beast gave to the viewers is that make the 100 videos and improve. Maybe you've heard that, yeah? And improve in every video. So that's what I'm trying to follow. I don't really care how many views I will get in those videos, but I'll just start and like start pushing. And I've been in that situation with TikTok or Instagram where I started and just kept pushing. And I'll apply the same theory here. So I'll just keep pushing. Like I'll start creating content, just start uploading, stay consistent, and yeah, that's my goal here, to just start and keep going and don't give up till you get something out of it. Because my last full-time job was like, that's my last job. I'm working for someone. My last employment that I'm working or having a boss over me. I was like, once this job is done, like I'm gonna try and do something of my own, which I'm doing now, I guess, the coffee shop, I guess, and YouTube, hopefully soon.
You've brought up consistency a few times. Does consistency mean regular uploading schedule? Does it mean consistency in style of editing, style of video? What does consistency mean?
I think consistency in terms of uploading regularly, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. With TikTok or Instagram, I think Monday, Tuesday, every day, I think is the goal here, to get as many followers as you can. I mean, if I would be, I'm not saying that I'm consistent, to be honest, because if I would be consistent, my probably status would be completely different now. But I haven't been consistent due to my full-time work, due to some days when I wasn't feeling well, and I think everyone is going through that, and setting up my business and setting that and this and that, and helping my family to move here and my sister and all that type of thing. Hence why I'm not the perfect one, and nobody can be. But as long as you try and stay consistent, at least like if you haven't uploaded in 2 weeks, maybe you have to set a goal to upload the 3rd week. Yeah, consistency is hard, but if you follow the consistency, which means uploading regularly, and the best thing I've heard on YouTube, for example, you have to the best thing would be to even upload at the same time, in the same day, in the same second or whatever. I don't know how achievable is that, but I guess that's the advice in terms of the consistency and the advice from other YouTubers, I think, and all the other content creators that I met and I've listened to. Yeah.
What's the like advice when it comes to say Instagram Reels or TikTok? Like, is it posting one every single day and then it'll take maybe 300 videos until something goes viral, and then once something goes viral, repeat that viral video again and again? Is that the formula?
In terms of Instagram or TikTok and Reels, I think it doesn't have to be like 100 or 200 videos. It just has to be again consistent, and you shouldn't give up. You should keep pushing till you get a viral video. For some, it's like the second video. For some, it's like 100th video. You know, for me, it was like I don't know, maybe 20th or 30th video that got like I don't know how many you got, like at least 1 million views. I remember it was like a small sketch, and I just kept pushing. Like I wasn't getting any views like in the beginning, as everyone would be in the same position as I am when they're just starting out. I think as long as you just keep at it, like keep pushing, keep filming, you don't give up, and then you will start realizing like you'll start getting some views and then more views, and then it will convert into like millions of views and etc. And that's what happened with me. I was getting 1 view and then 3 views and then 5 views, and then I was at 1,400 views. I was like, oh my god, it's going viral! 1,400 views on the video. I was like, whoa, shit! I was so excited at that time. And then I got my first million, and then I got my first million likes, and I got my 100 million video views, and then etc. So once you hit the 100 million views, you'll be like, okay, what's next? What's the next step here? Because it doesn't like excite you as much at that stage, because you're already it's just numbers game after that stage. And I thought to myself, okay, yeah, I got 100 million views, so what? Did I get $1 million from it? No way. It's just, just a 100 million views video. And people like texting me, oh, you got 100 million, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, at some point you start asking yourself, like, okay, yes, I inspired a lot of people, but what's the next step from my point of view? Like, because I want to inspire even more people, but like 100 million doesn't give me anything except people texting me and saying, okay, you got 100 million views. Obviously, I love that I inspired people, but from my own personal perspective, I'll be like, okay, what's the next step? Maybe I need to try this recipe in YouTube. Yeah, that was my choice from there to start YouTube.
Have you been able to monetize the TikTok or the Instagram? Have you been able to like get sponsorships? What has that been like?
Yeah, I had quite a few like brand deals. So when I was just starting out, and once I start getting like engagement and some of the videos were viral, all these small apps and new companies start reaching out, and we're like, okay, we're happy to pay you $500 something for a video just to promote our app, etc. But I had like few advice from some influencers back in the days, like I don't know if you know Jeffo, Jamie Zhu, blah blah blah, all those type of people. They were like, oh, maybe the advice would be not to fall into that trap of making those small brand deals, because it could shatter your image on the social media platforms. And yeah, I haven't done so many of them. But then when I started getting really viral, like when I start getting consistently 1 to 2, 3, 5 million views on every video, then some big companies started reaching out. One manager reached out to me, and a management company reached out to me, and I signed up with them, and they started to bring me some good deals, like very worthy of my time, and because it does take quite a while to realize the video from idea to like implementation. You have to brainstorm the idea, because they don't brainstorm for you. You have to adjust it to your content. You have to make sure that it doesn't always go viral, but it gets some views, so that you have that retention, and you have that ability to make those brands come again and ask for a promotion, like a brand deal with you again in the future. But essentially, it was pretty good before I stopped posting consistently. Yeah. And in terms of, I guess you want to know the range per video, something like that.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, maybe the range would be anywhere from like, I would say $2,000 to $7,000 per
Yeah,
video.
that's
Yeah,
so.
depending on the brief, obviously, depending on the complexity of the video, depending on so many factors there. So yeah, that probably would be the range. I don't know if it's high or low, but I was pretty satisfied back then.
What's an example of a $7,000 sponsored video? What did you have to do? Was it like a big brand?
I think it was several videos that I had to do,
Mm.
maybe two or three, but they was sort of in the same theme and same direction, so it wasn't that hard to film them. And yeah, I just agreed and signed the contract, and off you go. Just brainstorm the idea. I created a draft, send them the draft, because the process is usually pretty similar to some would be a little bit harder, like KFC or Drumsticks. They're like big companies that I did brand deals for. But essentially, usually pretty similar in terms of the process. You brainstorm the idea, send them several ideas, they approve the idea, whichever they like best, and then you go ahead and you film that, you edit it, you send them the draft. They will say if they like it or not. If they don't like, they will give feedback on what to improve. You have to go back and film it again and refilm it. And once it's all done, once they're happy with that, then obviously you upload that and they see what the engagement is. And because it's a fixed contract, they would pay you at the end. Yeah. Other than brand deals or promotions, I think monetization on Snapchat or Facebook was all right as well. Like without doing much, just re-uploading the old videos. You know, I could monetize those videos, and some of them went viral, like 1, 2, 3 million views, and the payout was pretty good for not doing much. But other than that, something like YouTube monetization, yeah, I haven't had that yet. Like where you get like crazy amounts of money.
Getting 1 million views on Facebook Reels, how much would that equate to in revenue on Facebook?
I think it would depend on the type of content you have and demographics that are in your audience, whether it's India or nothing against India. I love India. They bring a lot of engagement to your uh, content sometimes, even though it's banned already. Like TikTok is banned there. But yeah, I think it would depend on demographics but on average, I think for 1 million views, you could potentially get maybe 2 grand or something
Whoa,
USD, one
that's
and a
pretty
half, two
crazy.
grand.
Yes. Wow.
It's not that bad actually when you think about it.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think it depends on each individual case because I have few mates here who are also content creators. They've been getting 1 million views, but they were getting nothing. But their content is more like a bit rough around the edges, like it's pranks and all that type of thing. And they've been asking me like, oh, how did you get so much money, blah blah blah. I was like, I didn't do nothing. I just basically re-uploaded my old videos and it went viral on Facebook, and yeah, and I just got paid out.
Makes sense. When you said things were going pretty good with the sponsorships when you're consistent, why did you stop the consistency if things were going good, a lot of brand deals? Yeah.
That's a really good question. I think that was around the time when I decided to open a coffee shop.
Mm.
Yeah. And we started coffee shop from zero. I had zero experience in making coffee, zero experience in making sandwiches, zero experience in business. And that time I just couldn't handle the pressure. It was too much. Like I've been working from morning till 6 p.m. From 6 p.m. I've been stuck in a shop setting it up because so many things to do. So many. I don't know if I wouldn't do it if I would go back retrospectively. But yeah, if I just sit down now and think about things we had to do to set it up, it was just crazy amount of work. Yeah, because like you have to like test all the sandwiches, you have to make them, you have to make sure they're good, you have to like adjust the recipes. Oh my God, it's so much small things and big things and like finding equipment, which equipment we need, like finding the resources like money, it's not just setting up or your time, it's money as well involved. It's so much money being invested into that. And then at the end, when you realize that it's so hard and like you're trying to give up, but then you think, oh my God, you've invested so much money and time into it. Now, like, what to do? And that time I was like, I wanted to do content and it was going very well. And my full-time job was paying well. And like this more like this, hobby is paying well. And I don't know, maybe I felt too comfortable and then wanted some more challenge in my life. And yeah, it is what it is, I guess. We are here now. We can't really regret about the past. Just learn from whatever you've learned and move forward. That's my small motto there.
I love that. When you went to Asia, who looked after the coffee shop when you sort of did all the Asia content?
Oh, we closed.
Oh.
Yeah, we closed for like 4 or 5 weeks or something like that. And yeah, basically no one's been there because it's still not delegated, which I'm working on now and trying to delegate my responsibilities to someone else. I do have a partner, a business partner, and yeah, I'm trying to work the relationships and see how we can figure this out because my aim is to create content for the coffee shop and my content at the same time because that's where my passion lies. But I'm working towards that because you always have to now agree with the partner because, you know, they also have stake in it.
How do you plan on integrating your content to the coffee store content? Do you have any ideas brewing?
Yeah, quite a few ideas actually. But one of them is something like because I don't really have time to shoot YouTube content or my own content, I felt like combining them two would be a good idea. Like a retired like content creator or like a guy who quit his job at 32 and started his coffee shop from scratch, that kind of videos, and see how it goes. But obviously, I'll be testing all different ideas around and see what sticks, and then take it from there. So once I have that fundamentals going on, like a base, okay, this works. What's the next step? What's the next viral step? What's the next viral step? And that's how I've been building my own personal channels. So yeah, just find the base. Okay, this works. This hits. People like it. Then take the next step. All right, what can I can improve to move to that next stage, like to 1 million. If I have 100,000 views, 1 million views, and from 1 to 10 million views, etc. I'm not sure how it's gonna work with business because obviously TikTok or Instagram they usually suppress business type of content. But let's see how it goes. I've seen few viral videos of a coffee shop. So if they could do it, like I think why I can't do it with the experience I've gained so far for the past 3.5 years in this industry.
Yeah, I've seen those viral day in a life, vertical style, real coffee store content. How do you go about doing the vertical videos and horizontal videos for YouTube and long form? Is it possible to do both, or are you going to be posting vertical videos on YouTube?
Definitely not vertical videos on YouTube. 100% will be horizontal, and I'm still trying to figure that out. I will start with verticals. I will try and achieve the virality soon, hopefully, for the coffee shop so that I'll start like delegating those things to someone else and then try and automate it. And and then focus on my own thing. But I think if I have all this time to just create content for the coffee shop and my own content, like purely time, Monday to Sunday, just content, I think it's pretty achievable. So you just plan ahead and divide your week. Like, okay, I'll divide a day. Like, okay, in the morning, I'll wake up, blah, 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 do this and that. And then from 10 a.m. till like 3 or 4 p.m. filming for for the coffee shop. And then after that, start thinking YouTube and start filming for YouTube. Or maybe Monday to Wednesday, I'm in a coffee shop filming content. And then from Thursday till Sunday, I'm focusing on my own YouTube channel. Obviously, that probably dreaming. I don't know where it's gonna go, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You never know before you start.
What did you find better, like having a filming schedule on certain days you go film, or filming when the time is right or when you need to upload soon? That would give you the motivation to quickly film, or did you have a schedule? What's better creativity wise?
So far, I've only been filming mostly on Saturday and Sunday. I didn't have a chance to film from Monday to Friday because I either had a full-time job or I'm in a coffee shop. So Saturday, Sundays, the only days that I can film. I don't have any excuses to not film on Saturday, Sunday. So I've just been filming Saturday, Sunday consistently. Sometimes I would miss it. Sometimes I would take a rest because you're not a robot, you can't keep working all the time. Sometimes I would miss it because I have a bank of content ready to go, just need to edit it. And I already have that in my mind. Okay, I have maybe 10 or 15 videos that I can edit. Okay, next weekend, we're not filming, just taking rest. So maybe go and enjoy yourself, out there. But yeah, that's how I've been doing this for the past 3.5 years. Never had a liberty to film from Monday to Friday, unfortunately. But it's been working well, I guess, so far.
So like on a Saturday, could you like film 10 giveaway, like, or pay sort of, how you go up to the counter and you pay for their Woolies checkout? Could you film like 10 to 20 of those in like 4 or 5 hours? And like that's enough content for like 2 weeks off one day?
I wish it would be 10 to 15 because I do stay there for 4 to 5 hours, but I'm not like literally paying for every person. Some of the shop's staff would already know me, and the thing I realized that all that staff who are working in those shops, they would know which people would be in need the most. And now they're telling me like, okay, yeah, you could pay for this person, you could pay for that person, blah, blah, blah. Because sometimes I do depend like on my feeling, but obviously it's not always right. I don't know, I can't judge a book by its cover, So it's a big support and help that the staff provide of that particular grocery store. And yeah, that was quite amazing because now I know that I'm helping people who are in real need, that's touching my heart deeply. So yeah. But yeah, I wish it was 10 to 15. It's not always like that because I just have to stay there and just basically browse around, like, and wait for the staff to let me know because it's not like every second person. It's not even every 10th person. Sometimes like you have to go for like 20 people and then the one would come and then you just pay for that guy.
That's awesome. How many percent of the giveaways where there's a worthy enough reaction for you to post, or do you post them all?
I don't put them all, that's for sure. And if I feel like the reaction was good and that could inspire people, then I would take my time to edit it and then post it. But there were so many videos that weren't posted and I was just like, fine. I mean, I probably did their day, which I'm also happy about. But percentage-wise, I'm not sure. Maybe 50-50, I would say. Yeah.
That's super cool, Russ. Sam. 2 questions I like to end these podcasts with. One, any recent discoveries that you've been implementing to your life, Russ?
Recent discoveries, like in my personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first big thing is the food you eat, like the diet. Because I've been eating takeaways for the past so many years as a single guy. Um, and it sort of affected my health a bit, in terms of like mentally as well and physically. So I changed that completely. So I don't really eat much of takeaway food these days. So I think that's a major change. Another one, I've learned that thoughts are not you. You know, that's a big thing that I've realized through reading the Power of Now book by Eckhart Tolle, which I would suggest to anyone who wants to grow spiritually. And yeah, learn how to meditate, which helped me a lot in terms of finding that peace and keeping that noise away from your mind. Yeah, those are the big things I've learned in the past few months.
That's awesome.
It's been a year already, I think. But yeah,
And what's the goal and focus for the next 6 months for you, Russ?
big goal is to put the coffee shop on track, delegate the powers, and make sure that I'm not that involved in the running of the business, except content creation, which I'd love to do content creation for the shop and make it viral, which I feel like I have the ability to do, and yeah, and work towards building the YouTube channel. That's really like where my passion lies. I really want to continue creating videos and continue inspiring people and bringing value to the people who would watch me, and provide them with skills that they don't possess that I know of, whether it's, I don't know, you name it, whether it's yeah, I'm not sure what I can provide now, except like confidence and content creation, and that, even if you don't have shit behind your back, you can still make it and you can still achieve something in your life, to never give up, and all those type of things.
I love that, Russ. Thank you so much for your time. Russ, where can people follow along on your journey? Where are the best places for people to get more of you?
Probably Instagram for now. Um, yeah, Instagram. I think that's the best place, because sometimes I post stories there, and then I'll be updating about my YouTube journey from there as well. Because TikTok is mainly for short form content. All these stories there, I think they don't really work much. And I'm not a live type of guy. I don't like to go live. I tried so many times, but it just doesn't speak. But yeah, I think Instagram.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, Russ. I really appreciate it. I love how, yeah, you're such a hard worker. You're a grinder. Like you've been working 3 jobs, and it's like it's a pretty cool motivational story of you coming to Australia as an immigrant, and you like going through the whole corporate ladder, and then you starting your own business, filming content. So you definitely have a motivational story, and it's just, yeah, your work ethic is insane.
Yeah. I'm surprised myself even sometimes. How could I go through all of this for that period of time?
And you're such a giving person as well, just like off your content. And thank you for doing this. I know like you haven't eaten, like you fasted, and you started the day at 5 a.m. So like, thank you for doing this.
Oh, good, oh, good. Always happy to do or provide value or help.
Thank you,
Thanks
Ross.
for having me, Andy. It was great to meet you. I don't, we haven't had a chance to have a chat, I guess. I just saw the email because like 2 weeks ago, yeah, about 2 weeks ago, I start clearing all my emails, all this bunch of emails I've been getting for several months, and I finally thought, okay, I need to get onto this. And then yeah, I saw your email, and it's like, okay, let's do this. Glad to help. But what's your sort of background? Like, how long you been doing this for? I'm curious.
I've been doing the podcast for nearly 4 years now. Um, My main thing is I have an education company called studying.com where we have a course and training program where we teach people how to start online e-commerce businesses, drop shipping, Facebook ads. So I have a course and training on that. So that's sort of the main thing. And then the podcast allows me to connect with cool individuals and like it's a great medium for me to learn. And I think it's sort of like a more sustainable for more evergreen type content because I still do, I have a channel that teaches people how to do e-com, but that is so up and down. And I was like, I want to do something more fulfilling, more fun. And I enjoy the podcast and I enjoy asking people questions and learning.
Wow. And how was that treating you, the podcast? Was it building up quite consistently or?
So I think the podcast has been building up consistently. We haven't monetized, so I've made $0. I've just lost money every single month because we have an editor, we have a scheduler, but it's connected me with so many amazing people and the lessons I've learned from talking to. I think this would probably be around episode 170 something. Had guests since 50, so that means I've talked to 120 people. So I learned so much from 120 people. It's worth way more than the investment.
Wow. So it's worth the investment, yeah?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, the knowledge. Yeah, it's like coaching. Like today, I learned so much about how to film content out in the real life, the whole tricks with the iPhone, the dropping of the mic. Like I learned so many cool tricks that like this is like super duper valuable. It's like worth more than the investment to the podcast. So yeah, definitely been valuable.
And did you go through that corporate ladder by yourself or you never worked in the office?
I studied I was pretty okay in high school. I wasn't that smart, but then during the last 2 years of HSC, I really put in a lot of effort, got a 95 ATAR, studied a year of actuary studies,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and then I
Pretty hard.
yeah. And then during the summer break, gave ecom a try, figured it out just before the second year started, took a gap year, then I took a second gap year, a third year, 4 year, 5 year, 6 years, and I guess I haven't looked back.
Wow. Crazy. And you're happy so far?
I think I'm definitely would be way more happy than if I was working in some insurance company as an actuary. Uh,
Yeah, I bet.
But you're right. There's so many ups, downs. It's definitely not an easy journey. Like I've been bleeding out for the last 2 years, but I'm starting to close the bleeding as I'm restructuring things. So it's definitely not easy. The ups, the downs, feelings of loneliness, feeling of like, is this gonna work? Thoughts of fuck, like I might have to get a job, but how do I get a job because I have no degree? So like definitely it hasn't been easy, but I'm very happy with this path.
Okay. That's the most important thing, I think. If you're enjoying what you're doing, that's the best thing. And that's the invisible hand gives you things, from nowhere. You just never think about it, but it just, whatever is in your mind, it just comes to the reality at the end. It's just fascinating.
I agree. Like, I do think that the universe, God, or whoever is sort of running this game of life, that like it wants to test me. They want to test you. He's purposely testing me and putting me and getting me just before things get really bad. That's when the invisible hand will come and it's like, hey, I put you through enough. Here's the reward, and you can breathe for a bit. And I do feel like I'm constantly being pushed to my limits. And the moment before I actually break and actually, things burst, the invisible hand comes and is like, hey, here's the reward. You've done enough.
Yeah, yes, I totally agree with that, to be honest, because I've had similar experiences. Which is, yeah, that's, I guess, life, you know? That's what makes it interesting to live, achieve, and, yeah, and then ponder about life. And yeah. I have one question, because you've been doing YouTube for quite a while now, and I'm planning to start doing YouTube, not the short form side of things, because I've been uploading on shorts. And do you think it would be a good idea to start a brand new channel or rebrand the current one, which had all this short form stuff? Because I had so many friends who are content creators, and they've gathered this crazy amount of followers through short form. But then when they start uploading long form, they get very small amount of views compared to the following. So they have at least 1 million followers, but the long form doesn't work for them because they acquired all this audience from short form content. So like that's why I'm like in two minds now, like whether I should rebrand the current one where I don't have so many followers there, like I don't know 5,000 or something, which I've never concentrated on YouTube thus far, or stuff that and just create a new brand new channel. What do you think?
I had a friend in Sydney. He has like a cat YouTube channel, and I think he has maybe like 700, 800,000 subscribers. He's done like months where he's gotten like 10 million views, 20 million views, so has a solid channel. And his advice was like, so my ecom channel is basically dead. It was like, if you really want to get serious on YouTube, you should probably like start a new channel. It's very difficult to recover a dead channel that's not getting many views compared to how many subscribers. And he suggested, and he's quite educated, he was like, yeah, you should, if you want to do YouTube like seriously, like probably open up a new channel. And that's what he told me. I don't know how that applies with shorts, and you already have millions of views on the shorts account. I don't know if it's the same advice, but yeah.
Right. So just start from scratch.
Yeah, I think it's, but then it's curious, like my ecom YouTube channel that teaches people about e-commerce. I would post videos. I would have a friend that I met because he met me through YouTube, and he probably subscribed to me 4 or 5 years ago. And if a current video I upload is relevant, it will pop up for him. So like
Oh,
so like I'm still, I guess, reaching a lot of people, but I'm just getting low click-through rates. So maybe my subscribers are seeing my videos, but they see the thumbnail, they see the title, they know what to expect. They're no longer interested in e-com, so they don't click on it. But maybe my videos are being served to my audience. And if I restarted, that friend wouldn't have saw that video.
yeah, that's a dilemma there.
Mm.
There are pros and cons, I think, for both sides. Because I tried to research, but there's
Yeah.
um, not much information out there, to be honest. Some suggest to rebrand current one because of that particular factor that it can be shown to some of your following and then potentially convert them into your new content, or completely scratch it and then just start from zero, which I feel a bit more comfortable with because like you'll gauge like the progress throughout time, and YouTube will sort of start pushing you to different demographics and see where it sticks. But yeah, all right, but yeah, I've heard you. I think it's yeah,
What
thing
happens?
to think about.
What would happen if you don't rebrand and you just use the current YouTube channel and post long form content?
Um, yeah, that could be something that I could do, but I think it will be completely different sort of content I'll be doing. It's going to be related more to something else. I think it's more like something related to like achievements, basically, um, challenges, achievements, and things like that. In that sort of direction, like Ryan Tran, like Mr. Beast direction. That's like I really feel it because I still want to do this in public because like I'm not that guy who just sits at home and does the head video, like or like filming herself and talking. Like I can't do that. I mean, I'll try, obviously, but I still want to go outside and interact with people and talk to people and make new connections because that's the energy. That's where energy is, from other people. And I feel so energetic at the end of the day when I spend the whole day approaching people and speaking to them and getting all these reactions and, just having a laugh, having a chat. It's so amazing. And then at the same time, you're making a video. It's like, job come true, a dream come true. So yeah, so that's sort of my direction there, which is a little bit different to what I've been posting there so far. Hence why I'm like in doubt on what to do. But yeah, I think I'll get there soon with advices like yours.
When I think of Melbourne, I think of My Chonny. Is that someone that do you know My Choni, his channel? Like, and then I was also thinking on how he had so many channels. He had like My Choni, Your Choni, Choni Day. Had so many different channels as well.
He's
Yeah,
the OG, he's an OG, yeah.
yeah. He's like the
I've been
OG.
watching him a lot back in the day. Super Walk, My
Yes,
Choni, all those
yes,
guys.
yes.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think My Choni was from Melbourne, but I think he's not posting anymore, right? He's more into like foodies type of content nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's sort of converted a bit. But I'm not sure how I went for him, to be honest.
Mm,
I
mm.
know Super Walk is doing pretty well, like, you know, making shows on Netflix, etc. Look crazy. Where he started, like, and then where he is now, even though he doesn't appear too much in like short form content, but unless you get all these clips from his YouTube videos. But that's, yeah, that was one of the inspirations because started from nothing and then grew up quite enormously.
Yeah, I heard I don't know if it's true, but I heard that Superwog is like really educated, that he's like a law student or something. Or like yeah, something around that. I don't know how true it is, but yeah.
Oh wow, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's he's quite smart to make that kind of comedy.
Yeah.
It takes some brain, to be honest. Yeah, to be like, yeah.
Makes sense. But yeah, thank you so much for your time today, Russ. Guys, if you made it this far into the episode, thank you so much for your time. Please let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys next week on another episode of the podcast. Peace.